So I've just returned from sailing on a cruise ship that is in fact the most expensive cruise ship in the entire world, and I have no shame in saying that the experience exceeded beyond my expectations. In this video, I'll be going over all the details and little giblets involved with my recent cruise from top to bottom, from the pricing to the vibe to the overall experience, because not only was this my first time sailing with this particular line, not only did I sail with what is currently the most expensive cruise ship ever built, this cruise line as a whole is the first and only cruise line to ever be rated by Forbes Travel Guide. It's also known to be a cruise line industry favorite, and to be honest with all of you, I completely understand why. The cruise line that I'll be sailing with is Celebrity Cruises, and it is categorized as a premium line, meaning it is not up there with Cunard because they are considered luxury or a fancy line, nor is it down below with the likes of Carnival Cruise Line, Norwegian, or even Royal Caribbean, even if Celebrity is part of the Royal Caribbean group. It will be categorized more so with the likes of Princess Cruises and the game changer cruise line Virgin Voyages. The ship that I will be sailing on will be Celebrity's newest ship and the third ship within its Edge class series, the Celebrity Beyond. This ship was built in the year 2022, cost $1.7 billion to build, holds 3,300 passengers, 1,400 crew, and has 16 decks. The total cost of my cruise will come to just over $3,700 for a 7-day cruise to the Caribbean in an infinite veranda cabin located on Deck 7. However, this was a group rate, as I was cruising with my official sponsors, Touring Plans. Make sure you check them out, link in the description box below. It also came with $100 of onboard credit and free basic Wi-Fi. If you were to pay the normal rate for this particular cruise, the total will come out to just about $5,700 for the same experience and accommodation. On the first day or embarkation day, prior to even getting on board the Celebrity Beyond, Celebrity did go out of their way, it seems like, to make things as easy and effortless as possible. When you go into the app, by the way, which is just like the Royal Caribbean app, you can go ahead and, of course, sign in, get in all your details, passport information, all that jazz like you can with any other cruise line. However, one thing I thought was cool is that you can add your boarding pass to the Apple Wallet. I haven't seen that done with any other cruise line. You can also go ahead and watch your safety and video for your muster drill prior to getting on board. That way you don't have to do it once you're on board. You can go ahead and check into your muster station if you've already watched the video, and you are good to go. The boarding process over at Port Everglades to board the Celebrity Beyond was pretty expeditious overall. The closest thing I could relate it to as far as being maybe a well-oiled machine would be something similar to Virgin Voyages. It's a lot quieter, however, over there, and I do believe it could have had something to do potentially with the fact that the ship holds 3,300 passengers. However, from my understanding, only about 2,300 passengers were sailing on this particular sailing that I was going on. Once on board the Celebrity Beyond, immediately the first thing that came to my mind, if I had to put it into a word, was elegant. At first glance, I could already tell this ship was going to be beyond beautiful, like everybody had always talked about when it comes to this Edge class series ships with Celebrity Cruises. Some parts of the ship was very simple, but also elegant. Meanwhile, other parts were very artistic. And when I say artistic, I mean the fact that there was a lot of variety when it came to the art. Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot. I think inclusive is the word that everybody's talking about. Very cultured on board. And to me, overall, I thought that was pretty cool. The first thing that I did once on board so I didn't get too distracted was check out my infinite veranda cabin. Now, a lot of people out there don't really care much for the infinite verandas. However, I personally love it. I've been in that style of room twice now, once on a luxury cruise Atlas Ocean going to Antarctica, and this particular room. Basically, they don't have a traditional balcony. It's a window wall that kind of turns into like a makeshift balcony, and a lot of people say that it brings in more heat to the room. However, I personally didn't notice it. I thought the room itself was extremely functional, very simplistic in its own right, but still very elegant and beautiful as well. I was also a little disappointed at first when I got into the room. However, Celebrity Cruises got a one-up on me. You see, I assumed with the ship being brand new and being in a premium class that the room would be a little technologically advanced, because personally I like that kind of stuff. I'm a little bit of a nerd. And keep in mind, the day prior I was on Virgin Voyages Valiant Lady, which is also in the premium category, so naturally I am going to somewhat compare in some kind of way. But I did discover that just like with Virgin, there is an iPad in the room, you control all the lighting and all that. On the app, you can control your entire infinite veranda suite as well as all the other rooms, from the blinds, curtains, TV, AC, all that jazz right through the app. I thought that personally was pretty cool. Once I started exploring the ship, I have to admit to all of you, it was a lot to take in. From the Grand Plaza, to the rooftop garden, to Eden, to the Sunset Bar. This ship, like I said, was extremely elegant. And I'm sorry, but I'm going to keep using this word. That's the best way to put it. elegance. Even the pool, they had like these hot tubs that were like raised up in this like wine like structure that glue in the dark at night. Pretty cool. You could tell that no expense was spared when it came to creating this ship. And overall, as far as the space, because every single inch on board a cruise ship is real estate, they utilized it all. I gotta say, it's probably the first cruise ship that I've gone to where everything starts on like deck 4 and 5 and continues all the way up to like deck 16, 17. Absolutely ridiculous. Unfortunately for our sail away, it did get rained out as we sailed away from Port Everglades. However, I don't think it really matters because on Celebrity Cruises, they don't exactly have like a sail away party since it is a premium line. It's not a party premium line like Virgin Voyages. So naturally, they just kind of let everybody do their own thing. However, I did get a good lay of the land and actually check out the environment. As far as the age demographic, a lot of people were telling me that most of the time it's almost nothing but older people, people that don't have kids, stuff of that nature. When I was there, I guess because we were on an Easter cruise and still kind of like bleeding out of spring break, we did see a decent amount of kids. Not a lot, however, they were definitely there. I will also probably dive into this conversation a little bit deeper later on in the video, but as far as the overall vibe on board, included with the age demographic, it does appear to me like the newer celebrity ships are just primed for a wider variety of age demographics to come on board. A lot of people claim that Celebrity Cruises is only for old people. Personally, I didn't see it. Usually people will lump Princess, which is another premium line, over with Celebrity, and they just kind of go in the same kind of, I guess, bowl together to create like this old person cruise line that only old people want to do. But from the shows to the overall vibe of the ship to the aesthetics, I just didn't get it at all. After a very quick check-in with my muster station, I was free to explore the Celebrity Beyond, and there was a lot of exploring to do. It's my first time on that particular cruise line, and well, I don't exactly know the schematics as far as navigating around the ship. However, the first thing I did do was go upgrade my Wi-Fi. Like I said, I did get free Wi-Fi included with my group cruise. However, I need premium in order to work. And I was surprised at the price. Typically, let's say if somebody has basic and they want to upgrade and they don't do it right out of the gate, you can simply go over to the internet station and upgrade for $160 per person for the entire cruise, which is not bad, especially when you stack it up to the other lines. Except for Virgin, they do offer a deal for the cruise where it's like 50 to 70 bucks, depending if you're doing like a 5, 6, or 7 day sailing. But over there, I did get a discount once again while I was there, and it was $105 for myself and my girlfriend Lauren in order to upgrade our Wi-Fi to the premium. They also have like this bakery area where you can get all types of cookies and cakes and delectables for free as much as you want. Of course, I also checked out the casino for all of you gamblers out there. I don't gamble, house always wins. However, many of you may or may not be happy to know that the casino is 100% smoke free. When it comes to the food, many have claimed that Celebrity Cruises has among some of the best cruise line food in the entire world. And I gotta admit, they are right. I have no shame in saying that whatsoever. I do have a couple little gripes here and there I'll talk about in a second, but the food is amazing. From the restaurant over at Eden, Lauren and I went to a French restaurant, even the main dining rooms, the food was absolutely top notch. However, I couldn't exactly say the same for the buffet area. I want to say even the newer Carnival ships and Royal Caribbean has a better buffet area than the Celebrity Beyond. That's just my personal opinion. Keep in mind though, I did go there most of the time in the late evening hours, so maybe they were just breaking down and closing everything. I did go there one time during peak hours, same with breakfast and all that, but still, maybe that's just my personal opinion. Royal Caribbean has better buffet areas than Celebrity Cruises. As far as the pizza too, I would say the same. Virgin has better pizza, even Carnival and NCL, they all have better pizza than on Celebrity Beyond. But other than that, the food as a whole, from the seafood to just any dish that you can get on board, absolutely amazing. Diving into my favorite section, the entertainment. A lot of people have praised Celebrity Cruises. They've won awards for their entertainment, and I understand why. Even before actually sailing on board a Celebrity ship, I have a lot of friends of mine, very, very talented. I used to work at Busch Gardens and Universal with years ago. They all work for Celebrity or Royal Caribbean. Royal Caribbean and Celebrity, in my personal opinion, have the best entertainment at sea, hands down. Their shows are immaculate. You got Royal Caribbean with the diving shows, and it seems like every single show on board Celebrity ships Everybody there is so talented. They're all dancers, singers, and aerialists. They're all like triple, quadruple threats on board, and it's absolutely beautiful to see. The shows there are very well thought out, very technical in their own right, and just very beautiful shows as far as the staging and setup. Even when it comes to the inclusive shows over in Eden, I think the whole way it all works, from the Alice in Wonderland show over there to the Broadway show over in the main theater, the show, hands down, or as far as the shows as a whole, was absolutely unmatched by any other line except for the likes of its other brand, its sister brand, if you will, Royal Caribbean. To be fair, there are many out there that say that, for example, Holland America has the best entertainment. I have not sailed with Holland America, so I can't speak on that. But I will say companies like NCL or Norwegian Cruise Line, they do compete as well in some regards with their Broadway shows. Virgin, of course, with their risk taking. And I got to tell you, with their new ship coming out, Resilient Lady, that I was supposed to be working on last year, those shows, Persephone and Lola's Library, are going to be absolutely amazing. I know I keep talking about Virgin a lot, but we're talking about two premium lines. I was sailing on Virgin literally a day prior and the week before that. So maybe if you guys want, I will make a comparison video of premium versus premium. Let me know in the comment section below. By the way, after I go over all the basic giblets, I will of course go over all the cons that came with, in my opinion, sailing with the Celebrity Beyond. Some of you will say it's negative, some people will say it's complaining. However, I believe in a legitimate, objective review, you should critique all aspects, both the pros and the cons. Now, getting into the nightlife, I will say that everything seems to be poised for a successful time on board the Celebrity Beyond. Like I said, I just wish that there was a bigger variety of people as far as the age demographic. However, maybe it was just my Easter sailing. People had already made Easter plans. I was told by the cruise director, Luigi, which I hung out with almost every single day, as well as the comedian, and well, they said that the week prior, the nightclub was booming. And the nightclub is nice on board, as well as the Grand Plaza and pretty much every other nighttime experience to be had on board the Celebrity Beyond. I just do think they need to push a little bit more to maybe get a younger crowd in there, or just try to figure out a formula that works for everybody. If what I experienced was the typical norm, as opposed to what was seen maybe a week prior during the spring break week. Also, speaking of the cruise director, something that really caught me off guard, when it came to both the cruise director and the captain, they were so animated, so energized, so heavily involved in what was going on during the cruise. I had never seen anything like it, and it's something I just didn't expect whatsoever. I would argue that both the cruise director and the captain on board were more energized than you would see on a typical Carnival or Royal Caribbean cruise, and I was absolutely there for it. Now, I will say, unfortunately, Captain Kate McHugh, she is the famous woman at the helm, and I was looking forward to meeting her and challenging her to a breakdance battle. However, she was not there. We did have a gentleman there. I do apologize, my good sir, forgot your name, but man, I was just kind of in love with the fact that everybody, as far as the crew, was so involved. It was really, really cool to see. Now, the time that everybody has been waiting for, all of the cons, the negative, the complaining, here goes Jay as usual. No, I'm kidding, guys. So I believe that every cruise line has something that they either need to work on, or maybe it's just a simple fact that another cruise line does it better than them. I don't look at it as a con or anything. I just believe in being objective and looking at both sides of the coin here. And just keep in mind, it's just my perspective. I may go another time on another celebrity ship and have a whole different perspective and experience, just like all of you fine folk. Now, one thing I did notice was that for my particular sailing, maybe because we had so many like kind of odd ports that we were going over to, the calls in these ports, meaning the time we were there, was overall pretty short. For example, we did go over to like Cozumel. We were only there for from 9 a.m. to like 3:30, which some people would argue, well, that's not a very short time. That's perfect amount of time to go ahead and get stuff done. For a lot of people that are maybe waking up at that point in time, or maybe just in general, let's say, for example, and I hate to compare, but I do believe it's valid since we're talking about premium versus premium. You sail on a Virgin cruise, we stayed there from 8, I kid you not, until 7:30. So just keep that in mind. I do believe that the reason for this is because we did have to get over to the next ports of call. So what did we go to? We went to Nassau, I believe it was. It's Nassau, Cozumel, and then what was our... Oh yeah, it was Grand Cayman. So all the ports overall were relatively nice, of course. Well, everybody's been to Nassau. I think all of us, I have no shame in saying it, we all can agree that Nassau is it's one of those places that we're so used to going to if you cruise regularly, you just prefer not to. Fish fry is nice, and well, Atlantis is nice, but if you had a choice to go to another port, you probably would. But either way, yeah, we had like pretty much all shorter times to be in these ports, especially when you stack it up to like maybe another premium line. Also, getting off, it was kind of difficult at times to navigate. You had it somewhere in the app, you kind of had to scrounge around for it. There was no announcement as far as where the gangway was or anything like that. So there were times I would go to the front of the ship and well, then we'd have to like walk all the way back to the aft of the ship in order to get off. But overall, I would say just the disembarkation process, getting off the ship in the port to call, was still pretty effortless. This one you may or may not find bothersome depending on your personal tolerance. Personally, it didn't bother me. But if you were going to try to have like a quiet, nice dinner anywhere midship, then you could be disappointed because you have this area, I believe it was on deck 4 and 5, called Grand Plaza, where there's always music going on. There's always a lot of yelling, screaming, people just kind of having a good time, getting a little drunk. There's a bar over there, and well, you also are smack dab in the middle of this Grand Plaza with all of the restaurants like the Steakhouse, the Raw and Five, the Raw Seafood Bar, and even like the French restaurant. It's all kind of like circulating that area. And like I said, it didn't bother me, but when I went and kind of talked to a lot of people, the guests, that's something even people that were returners on Celebrity Cruises said that they wished was kind of like fixed. Personally, it didn't bother me when I went over to the Raw and Five to get some lobster and some seafood. My girl Lauren and I, we just wanted to chow down. We were still able to somewhat hear each other. It was a little loud, but nothing to the point to where it was something worth complaining about. I'm just putting that out there because I know it's something that a lot of people have said something about when it comes to the Grand Plaza. As far as the daily activities, I do believe that it could have probably been like one upped just a little bit. There were some days where they'd have like not a pool party, but they'd have like activities and games going on over in those particular areas. Like they had a day where they had the guest versus the officer volleyball, which I thought was pretty cool. Other days they'd have yoga going on. Some days they would have tennis. I'm not looking for a pool party like you would see on like again Virgin or anything like that. However, I do believe that there were some days, especially like on a sea day, that it was overall pretty quiet. Or we'd be getting back from our day in the port at like 3 or sometimes noon, and they would have like activities going on like water acrobatics, something like that, when a lot of people probably just wanted to go relax by the pool. To me, I think the structure overall could use some adjustments, but still, it wasn't horrible. As far as final notes, I would say, like I said, the ship was beautiful. I did go on the magic carpet. I thought it went up and down a little bit more often. However, it just seems like it kind of bounces around from deck 14 over in the top pool area deck down to like deck 5 and then over like lower by the sea. But maybe, I don't know. I think they work their schedule a little bit differently depending on the particular sailing. Overall, I would say when it came to the shows too, it was pretty cool. It seemed like the shows that were over in the nightclub area kind of reminded me a little bit of Virgin in its own right. It seemed like, from what I understand too from other people that I've talked to, that Celebrity was Virgin before Virgin existed, if that makes sense. You just kind of leave that to your thought. Maybe I'm right, maybe I'm wrong, but that's just what I've heard, and it did kind of make sense when I personally thought about it. Wi-Fi was immaculate. It was amazing, especially for the price. I did get to check out the retreat area. Shout out to my friend Billy from Cruise Habit. Definitely hooked it up. Cool area to go check out. I would say if you can find a good deal on it, definitely worth the money. And as far as, like I said earlier at the beginning of the video, when it comes to like just the activities on board, just the overall demographic, I do believe that the newer celebrity ships are poised to have a little bit more of a mixed crowd. I have no problem with older people whatsoever, people with salt and pepper out there, don't get me wrong. I'm just saying when you look at the overall aesthetics of the ship, to how it is operated, to what is available over there, it could fit a more hip stack of youngsters. That's all I'm saying. But that's all I got for the video, guys. Of course, let me know your thoughts on this in the comment section below. Keep in mind that it was my first time sailing with Celebrity, so I probably missed a ton of stuff, and I apologize. Not really. I'm probably going to go back. Actually, I will go back, and I'll be on the Celebrity Sea Ascent, their newest ship in December. So, yeah, I'm pretty excited for that. Hit that like button, subscribe if you guys haven't already, and, well, I'll see you later. And also let me know if you want me to make another video comparing Virgin to Celebrity. Let me know in the comment section. I'll see all of you later. Take it easy.